Hey you guys, it's Rachel here with Senza Tempo Cane Corso. So I wanted to talk to you guys about something that happened, unfortunately, in Austin recently. A dog died. It was a Dachshund. It was attacked by a pit bull. Now, I know that there are people that follow my channel that think that I hate pit bulls, mostly because they haven't watched enough of my channel to know better. But I'm one of those people that doesn't avoid the facts just because they're inconvenient. So there are breed traits that are specific to all breeds based upon their original purpose and breeding. And so I'm never going to shy away from those things whenever I speak about situations like this. Having said that, I actually don't think that this is a breed thing. I don't think that this would have been any different with other breeds involved. So let me go ahead and elaborate on what I mean by that and what happened. So these two people, they lived in the suburbs. They have a shared fence. It's a wooden fence, and that fence had a pretty large gap at the bottom of it. And the people who had the smaller dog, they had a Dachshund. I believe they either were outside or they had come outside, and their little Dachshund noticed that the neighbor's pit bull had its head underneath that gap in the fence. So it was actually peeking into their yard. I don't know how long they've all been living there together. I don't know if this is something that's happened before. I don't know any of that. But what I do know is that the Dachshund noticed that the pit bull had its head underneath the fence, and it challenged the pit bull. It ran over to the fence barking, and that caused the pit bull to want to go after the Dachshund. So the pit bull was able to flex the boards and actually knock them out of place and run into the yard, and very quickly he ended the life of the Dachshund. She or he, I don't know. And now the owners of the Dachshund are wanting the pit bull removed from the neighborhood. They don't want the pit bull there anymore. And what's crazy, Cashmere, no, I don't want to, not right now. No, not right now. No. Preacher, no. Down, all the way down. Stop it. What did I say? Stop it. I said stop, and I told you to stop too. Get down, now, all the way. All the way. I'm not in the mood. Stop it. You stop. I don't want them distracting from the conversation. That's why I'm not letting them play right now. So anyway, so the deal is that these people, the news and everything, they all wanted to address the fact that Texas state law does not allow for anything to really happen to the pit bull. Which I think makes sense. I think it's a very practical law, right? Dogs are going to be dogs. It's not a breed thing. Dogs are going to be dogs. And this is not an issue of a pit bull being aggressive. This is an issue of insecure fencing, okay? If the fencing had been secure, this would not be an issue right now. So we're not dealing with an issue about dogs, okay? That's just first and foremost. Second of all, dogs are territorial. It doesn't matter what kind of dog it is, they're going to be territorial of their space. And so when you have a dog that is peeking its head through that one dog's territory, well, of course, he's going to bark and he's going to challenge. And the other dog is in his territory, and the territories are just too close together. You know what I mean? And the other dog's like, oh, you're challenging me, and so he runs over and does what what they do. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but one of the main causes of death in wolves is fighting for territory with other wolves. It's not hunters. They often kill each other. And so what happened there is entirely expected from a natural perspective. However, it is now being treated as something other than that. You know what I mean? Now they're just, and the guy is even saying the husband of the wife whose dog was attacked was sitting here saying, well, he's got a mother who has 2 pit bulls. Well, if it, I don't think that he's necessarily angry about the fact that that they're pit bulls. Okay, I don't think that is what's going on. I think that he's just not really recognizing the fact that it isn't from the cause he thinks it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm sure that he thinks that individual dog, especially because the owner of that dog told him that the dog was not dog friendly. But the truth of the matter is, that isn't the issue. The dog can be as dog aggressive as it wants to be, so long as it is in a secure backyard. Okay, secure backyard. Having said that, I also think that the owner of the pit bull is also responsible for the fact that she did not do the work to socialize her dog. When you say to somebody, my dog doesn't like other dogs, what you're saying is that you're allowing your dog to make up their own decisions on what they on what they are going to be okay with and what they're not going to be okay with, which is not appropriate, right? Like, you wouldn't let your children do that either. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't let your kids decide what they are and what they are not going to be okay with. It's your job to teach them. So it's their job to teach the dog. There are very few pit bulls that cannot be rehabilitated to accept another dog. Very few. Having said that, I'm quite sure that they probably knew about the fencing, and if it was me, I would have fixed the fencing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a pretty dang big gap. So there's a lot of variables that have gone into this, but as usual, people get very emotional when things like this happen. It's a very high emotion thing, and so out comes the irrational behavior, right? You guys quit the irrational behavior of, well, this dog now has to go. You know what I mean? Like, even though the dog was just being a dog and just doing what dogs do in any breed, you know what I'm saying? Any breed. Like, did you guys remember the story that I did on the kid that was mauled and I believe died from the Huskies? You know what I mean? And they were puppies. It's just, there's a big reason why I won't sell to people that keep their dogs in their backyard. I'm not going to do it because it's dangerous. When you leave a pack animal out in a backyard, they are going to become territorial. They are going to revert back to very instinctual behaviors of predation on anything that comes in that backyard or near it. They're going to defend it. You know what I mean? That's what they're going to do. That pit bull was acting like most dogs would. It wasn't acting even like a pit bull. That's not a breed specific thing. Okay. Now, to say that pit bulls don't have a tendency to be dog aggressive, well, that would be a lie too, right? Like, there are many pit bulls that do have that trait. There are also many that don't. I don't care if you're talking about game bred lines, like lines that have been bred for fighting for generations. Even those litters will still have puppies that have no interest in participating in any kind of fighting activity. And that's entirely to be expected. You know what I mean? Not every dog, no matter what their job is, can always do that job. And that's why, as breeders, we select the most capable animals, the ones that have those breed characteristics that we're looking for. But having said that, this particular dog does seem to have that trait, but that is not the reason for the attack. That's not why it happened. It happened because of the environment that the animal was placed in. It was, as far as I understand, unsupervised in the backyard, in an unsecure backyard. I think I said insecure earlier. I shouldn't have said that. It was in an unsecure backyard, and was able to have access to another dog, and they both got territorial. They both challenged each other, and unfortunately, one of them lost. And that's a story that is played out in nature without us knowing, time after time after time. It's a story older than the domestication of the dog. But we are overanalyzing it by saying, oh, well, now, and the whole, made me want to throw up when I heard it. And they were like, well, now that dog has tasted blood, whoever the animal control officer is in Liberty Hill that told those people that should be fired. They should be fired because they clearly don't know what the heck they're talking about. Michael Vick's dogs, as many of you know, were rehabilitated. There were very few of them that were unable to be rehabilitated and in homes and be okay with other dogs. So to sit there and say that just because a dog has tasted blood, oh my God, that is some of the most ignorant crap I've heard in a long time. I thought that kind of thinking was gone. I really did. I thought that we were past that, and we're clearly not. So let me be very clear. It does not matter if your dog has tasted blood. It does not matter. There's no consequence as to whether or not you can convert that dog back to being okay with dogs again. Now, there will always be dogs, like the ones that couldn't be rehabilitated. There will always be ones that just literally, it's just too much in them and they can't do it. You know what I'm saying? They just can't. And anybody that really knows the pit bull breed knows that. If you've been dealing with like bully dogs, things like that, then you may, you probably won't have that perspective. But if you know about the true game dog, not just the American Pit Bull Terrier, but the true game dogs, those lines, there will be dogs in those lines that will not accept another dog. They will not do it. The same way that a collie or a border collie needs to herd, some pit bulls are gonna want to fight. And there's some of them you're not gonna be able to take it out of them. Were you bad? Were you bad? So she got onto Liberty because Liberty's being overly excited and running around being crazy, and she got in trouble for it. But having said that, it's just not, it's not something that you can truly, you just can't blame this dog in this situation. That's the deal. You really can't. That's not what happened here. This is not a breed thing. This is just a dog thing. This is a canine thing. That's what it is. This is an issue of territorial behavior. Girl, if you are sneezing from it, get out of it. Quit rolling in it. If you're allergic to it, girl, get out of it. Belladonna is so crazy, I swear. So anyway, I just wanted to address that. I hate to see stuff like that go on. I hate to see pit bulls get blamed for things when they're not really at fault. This is not a pit bull thing. This is not a breed thing. This is a issue of people not understanding that when you take a dog into your home and you have it in the backyard and you allow it to behave in a territorial fashion, you're going to get that kind of behavior. If you don't want your dog to be at risk of doing something like that, you do not allow that dog to fence fight. Don't allow them to run up on the fence barking ever, period. Like ever. Like if you have a true protection dog, it will protect you regardless. They don't have to bark at the fence to know when it's time to protect you, okay? So don't sit there and allow your dog to do that, because what you're doing is you're encouraging and allowing a defensive territorial behavior, which will escalate. Cashmere, stop it. Which will escalate to that kind of behavior. That's what it does escalate to. So don't allow it to happen, and keep your fences secure. If you have a shared fence, if you live in an area where you have neighbors with dogs, keep your fencing secure. Okay? Do it. Keep your fencing secure. It's not the dog's fault that the fencing wasn't secure and they were able to get to each other. That should have never happened. It should have never happened. Okay? If you had two zoos next to each other and they had a fence with lions, you know, even though they've been domestically bred lions, they haven't been in Africa for 10 years, doesn't matter. They're still wild animals. They're still big old cats. And let me be very clear with you. Just because we've been domesticated the dog and it isn't a wolf anymore, we have not removed that from them. Okay? We have not removed those tendencies. Just like Cashmere just tried to do, where she tried to be dominant towards Velocity and I had to walk up and interrupt it. They're gonna be that way. And if you don't step in and do something about it, then don't get mad when they act on those tendencies. Okay? That's the nature of the beast. So the dog doesn't need to be removed from the area. People need to get their heads right. They need to fix their fences. And the lady that has that dog needs to be supervising that dog when it's out. There's no reason for that dog to be out in a backyard with a big old gap in the fence when she knows that her dog doesn't like other dogs. If your neighbor has other dogs and your dog doesn't like other dogs, then you need to be supervising your dog when it's out there. And more than that, you actually need to be going out and working with that dog and addressing that issue. Your dog doesn't have to like other dogs, but it should tolerate other dogs. Okay? So I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, this is another situation where the dog is getting blamed, even though the people are saying, oh, we're not blaming the breed. You're still blaming the dog for something that it's not responsible for. A dog is a dog, okay? And a fence is either secure or it's not. And a dog is either trained or it's not. It's either socialized or it's not. And, you know, their dog challenged that dog. All they want to do is blame that dog. But the truth is, if their dog had been trained, and like, I'll be honest, if it was me and it was my little dog, you bet your butt I would have called him inside. What's wrong with walking inside, calling your little dog in and going inside? But I guarantee you they couldn't call that dog over. I bet you money they didn't have that little dog trained enough to be able to respond to a recall and come inside. You know? So all of this, and all they want to do, nobody wants to take any responsibility. Everybody's just like, oh, it's the dog, he's tasted blood, get him out of here. No, I'm sorry, but it's not that simple, sweetheart. So, anyway, if the owner of that pit bull sees this video, which I highly doubt they will, but if they do, let me know. I'm more than willing to help you with your dog for free. I won't charge you $1. I'll show you what you need to do to get that dog to be tolerant of other dogs. But it needs to not be removed. Where's it gonna go? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the dog gonna go? Who's gonna take this dog? Cashmere, quit it. Stop being a punk today. No, drop it. That's my stick now. Put it down, Cashmere. Drop it. My stick. Quit being a punk. My stick. Rude. Here, Blondie. I'm watching you. So, anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll talk at you later. Bye.